Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon them.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
The drama at The View has reached a boiling point, and trust us, this is one story you won't want to miss. Imagine this, a show that's been at the center of daytime television for decades, one of its most notorious hosts at the helm, and then, boom, complete chaos. Joy Behar, an icon of controversy, has officially been shown the door. But was it a mutual goodbye? Absolutely not. What went down behind the scenes makes this one of the most jaw-dropping moments in television history.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
Let's rewind a bit to set the stage for this explosive fallout. Joy Behar, known for her sharp tongue, unapologetic opinions, and penchant for stirring the pot, has been a staple on The View for years. Love her or hate her, she's been the show's driving force for debates, meltdowns, and headline-making moments. But it seems even her fiery personality couldn't save her this time. So what triggered this sudden exit? Enter Karoline Leavitt, a rising star in American politics and now the youngest ever White House press secretary at just 27 years old. And boy, did she shake things up. In her first week on the job, Karoline Leavitt made waves with sweeping reforms and a bold, no-holds-barred attitude. Her stance against wokeness and her decision to open the White House briefing room to independent media sent shockwaves through traditional media circles, but instead of focusing on her policies or her groundbreaking role, the ladies of The View decided to take a much nastier approach. Joy Behar, in particular, couldn't resist a jab. She claimed on air that Karoline only got her position because, in her words, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. Yep, you heard that right. One of daytime television's loudest voices stooped to reducing a highly accomplished young woman to nothing more than her looks.
Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you.
But Joy didn't stop there. Whoopi Goldberg chimed in, claiming that Karoline owed her position to wokeness, arguing that without it, women wouldn't even have a seat at the table. The irony? These comments came from women who regularly preach about empowerment and breaking barriers. The hypocrisy was almost too much for viewers to handle, and social media erupted. Fans and critics alike were appalled, with many pointing out how sexist and dismissive Joy's comments were. One viewer summed it up perfectly. If a Republican said anything remotely like that, they'd be crucified. But when Joy says it, it's just another day on The View. Absolutely disgusting. Karoline, however, wasn't about to let this slide. Instead of firing off a simple tweet or issuing a press statement, she went on the offensive in the most spectacular way. Not only did she call out Joy Behar and The View for their blatant hypocrisy, but she also slapped ABC with a massive defamation lawsuit. That's right, Karoline played no games. She accused Joy and the network of intentionally spreading lies to harm her reputation, and the legal action sent ABC into full-blown panic mode.
Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
Behind the scenes, chaos ensued. ABC executives reportedly scrambled to contain the fallout, but it was too late. The backlash was spreading like wildfire. Social media was ablaze with hashtags like Cancel the View and Fire Joy Behar, and the pressure on the network became unbearable. Sponsors began pulling out, longtime viewers turned their backs, and even Joy's co-hosts started distancing themselves from the controversy. It was becoming abundantly clear that something had to give, and fast. As the lawsuit gained traction, more behind-the-scenes dirt about The View began to surface. Former guests and insiders started spilling the tea, describing a toxic culture where personal attacks and smear tactics were the norm. One anonymous source claimed that Joy wasn't the only host guilty of crossing the line, alleging that bullying and manipulation were rampant among the panelists. Suddenly, this wasn't just about Karoline or Joy anymore. It was about the very foundation of The View and whether the show could even survive such a massive scandal.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
ABC, desperate to save face, reportedly held emergency meetings around the clock. According to rumors, the network initially tried to pressure Karoline into settling the lawsuit quietly, but she refused. She made it clear that this wasn't just about her, it was about holding the media accountable. And honestly, she had a point. As one fan put it, Trump's last two press secretaries have been fired. I'm not talking about looks, I'm talking about their ability to get their jobs done. They are everything a young lady should aspire to be. Karoline's refusal to back down only fueled the fire, and ABC found themselves in an impossible position. Faced with mounting public outrage and the very real possibility of losing millions in lawsuit damages, ABC made the unthinkable decision to part ways with Joy Behar. But of course, they didn't want it to look like they were caving to pressure. Instead, they orchestrated a quiet exit, framing it as Joy stepping down to focus on new projects. No one was buying it. Insiders revealed that Joy was blindsided by the decision and absolutely furious. She reportedly assumed she was untouchable, but this time, not even her legacy could save her.
And Karoline Leavitt isn't just making headlines, she's also rewriting history. At 27, the New Hampshire native has become the youngest White House press secretary ever.
Behind the scenes, rumors began swirling about the intense conversations leading up to Joy's departure. According to insiders, ABC executives were split down the middle. Some argued that keeping Joy was a risk they couldn't afford, while others believed firing her would alienate the show's loyal fan base. Allegedly, Joy herself fought tooth and nail to stay, calling in favors and even threatening to go public with her side of the story. But when the network's legal team stepped in to outline just how damaging Karoline Leavitt's lawsuit could be, the decision became inevitable. It wasn't just about bad PR anymore, it was about financial survival. Adding to the chaos, reports emerged that Joy's co-hosts were blindsided by the decision as well. While some had privately expressed frustration with Joy's increasingly controversial remarks, others were stunned that ABC would cut ties with someone who had been the face of the show for so long. Whoopi Goldberg, in particular, was said to be livid, reportedly calling the decision a betrayal. This internal division only deepened the cracks already forming within the show's dynamic, leaving fans to wonder if The View could even function without its most infamous panelist anchoring the drama. Meanwhile, Karoline wasn't slowing down. In a fiery public statement, she doubled down on her criticism of The View, calling the show a relic of outdated media bias. She went on to say, "This isn't just about me, it's about standing up to a culture that thinks it can silence independent voices with personal attacks and smear campaigns." Her words struck a chord with many, further galvanizing her supporters and putting even more pressure on ABC to address not just the lawsuit, but the deeper issues the scandal had exposed. For Karoline, this wasn't just a victory, it was a movement.
A staunch Trump loyalist and unapologetic Gen Z conservative, Leavitt's sharp rhetoric and bold social media presence have already made waves.
The reaction to Joy's exit was as polarizing as her career. On one side, Karoline Leavitt's supporters celebrated the move as long overdue justice. One fan even commented, "Joy was supposed to be a comedian, but she turned into an evil witch." On the other side, The View's fans felt betrayed, accusing ABC of throwing Joy under the bus. Some even vowed to boycott the show entirely, leaving ABC in an even bigger mess. But here's the kicker, Joy's firing didn't solve anything. In fact, it only made matters worse. The lawsuit is still ongoing, and Karoline has now expanded her claims to target the entire network, accusing ABC of fostering a biased and hostile environment. Meanwhile, the show's ratings have continued to plummet, and sponsors are still pulling out left and right. It's a complete disaster, and no one knows if The View will ever recover.
In the media, because I think it's a real fallacy that there's this alleged lack of transparency when it comes to Doge. President Trump and Elon Musk have been incredibly...
And let's not forget the ripple effect this has had on the broader media landscape. Karoline's bold stance has sparked a larger conversation about media accountability and the double standards faced by women in politics. As one viewer pointed out, it is amazing that Joy Behar suggests the only reason Karoline has her job is because of her looks. How very hypocritical of her. This isn't just about one woman standing up for herself. It's about challenging an entire system that's been broken for far too long. So, what's next for The View? Can the show survive without its most controversial co-host? Will ABC manage to recover from this PR nightmare? And what about Karoline Leavitt? Will she emerge as a new kind of role model for young women in politics? Or will the media find new ways to tear her down? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. The drama, the lawsuits, the fallout, it's all still unfolding, and you can bet there are more bombshells on the way.
We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything.
Now it's your turn. Was Joy's exit long overdue, or did ABC cave under pressure? Can The View bounce back, or is this the beginning of the end for daytime television's most polarizing show? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to stay tuned for more updates. This is one saga you won't want to miss. See you in the next one.